My name's Sarah Hart. I live in Ottawa, Canada, so much colder here than where you are. The whole program I've done with you has been online, and it's been fantastic. I'm a single mom. I'm 45. I work in healthcare, shift work, more than full-time hours, not a lot of time.
Why did you join the program? Like, what were you struggling with the most?
6 years ago, I ended my marriage. Up until that point, I feel like I have always put everybody else ahead of myself, everybody else's needs ahead of my own, even my pets, my kids, my husband's friends, parents, etc., because I felt like that was what I was supposed to do or should do. And when I ended my marriage, it became very apparent to me that that was not a healthy or thriving way to live. And I wanted to show, especially my children, a better way. And to do that, I had to start putting myself first.
And with that, what was like, did you have any type of like bad habits you were doing, especially during that divorce?
Absolutely. When I separated, I started smoking. I was drinking, terrible coping mechanisms to try and get through a really hard time in my life.
And from the smoking and drinking, what adverse effects did you see?
I was getting really winded, was having trouble breathing. I've always tried to do some form of exercise, but at that point, I just didn't have the stamina or the cardio capacity to be able to do what I wanted to do or was trying to do. I basically was just getting through the day so I could get home and drink my wine and have a cigarette, because that was my escape.
At what point did you tell yourself, like, this is it? Like, I need to change. I need to do something.
So the first step, I actually became vegan after watching a few documentaries. I had tried the vegan thing years ago, primarily just for health reasons, because I thought it would help me lose weight. Not really from an ethical standpoint, because I didn't really understand that side of it. I was more just doing it to try and lose weight and, be healthy. It didn't last. And I think that that's because it didn't encompass the ethical component. Once I watched things like Earthlings, there's a bunch of documentaries on Netflix, and it became an ethical thing for me. So that was it. I was vegan. And I also struggled hard with trying to exercise, killing myself in the gym, trying to do what I thought was correct in the kitchen, nutrition-wise, by, pulling different things that I would find on Google or listening to this person or that person and thinking I could, piece it all together by myself, and wasted a lot of energy trying to do it on my own and getting really frustrated because I wasn't seeing the results in the mirror that I felt like all of this energy I was putting into this, I should be seeing something or getting something out of it. And I just wasn't where I wanted to be. So I found you through the vegan community, and I followed you for a year at least, because I'll be honest, I've been ripped off by trainers before, and I've seen a lot of scammers out there. I've paid a lot of money to have help and have direction, and it hasn't really produced the results that were promised or that I had hoped for. So I followed you for at least a year to make sure that you were legit. I looked at your testimonials, and your testimonials were what I wanted. When I saw the after pictures, that was the body that I wanted, and that was how I wanted to live my life, especially because you were vegan as well. You were doing it with a vegan diet, and that was my goal. So that's when I reached out to you. to have that free assessment phone call.
What was some of the results that you received?
So the results were, I would say, as immediate as they could be. I noticed the weight dropping and just how I felt changing within a couple weeks, even of being on the plan. I lost 11 pounds, I think, in 11 weeks. So I was basically losing a pound a week. So it wasn't excessive or what I would call unhealthy. A pound a week to me is healthy and it's sustainable. And I think for me anyways, it's easier to be consistent. It wasn't so extreme that you just sort of give up because it's too hard. It was manageable, and I could notice the changes in my body and my energy levels within a matter of weeks, for sure. The nutrition component was huge for me because I thought I was eating healthy. You know, I was on a vegan diet. I ate a lot of vegetables, but to the knowledge of the macros and portions was the big thing for me, because there's always something. There's always going to be a holiday. There's always going to be something you can make an excuse about why you're going to start tomorrow, or why, you know, you're going to wait. I'm going to wait till after the holidays, or I'm going to wait till after this birthday or the summer or whatever it is. But the point for me was that if I was going to do this, it was going to become a lifestyle change, and it wasn't going to matter what was happening. Otherwise, what's the point? You're just going to give up as soon as, you know, something crosses your path that makes it a little bit more inconvenient or difficult. So I, you know, made a makeshift gym in my basement. You adapted the program for me so that I didn't need all of the special equipment and machines at the gym. It was adaptable. You know, you made it work for me. Plus the times when I legit couldn't work out, like post-surgery, or I had, you know, really injured my back. You've made the nutrition component so well adapted that as long as I stuck to those macros, I was still really happy with my results, even though I couldn't hammer it out in the gym. It might not have been as wonderful of results had I been able to do both, but it showed me that I could do it no matter what. It's proven to work regardless.
True. And how much weight did you lose overall so far?
It's not an excessive weight loss for me because I wasn't obese. I didn't have a ton of weight to lose. But I lost a lot of fat and gained more muscle and changed my body composition.
Yeah, it's the whole body composition. It's exactly what you said, because it was mostly about like 14 pounds.
Yeah.
But when it comes to muscle,
you can see it in my pictures. Like if you look at my first picture that I ever took, and then you look even, 2 months in, I don't even look, my body doesn't even look like the same person because of that change. And it's not necessarily a huge weight drop, because muscle weighs more than fat, right? We know that. Yeah. So, I leaned out and built muscle. So the number on the scale didn't necessarily change that much. Meanwhile, my body was. Everybody responds. Everybody has their own genetic makeup. And I think that part of your success is that you recognize that, and that it's different for everybody, and each plan is individually designed for each person.
And if there's someone that's like on the fence about it, like they're thinking about joining it, what would you tell them?
I would 100% say that it works. One of the things I love about you, and it's another reason why I chose you, because there are other vegan trainers out there. You are not an asshole. Like, honestly, because there are a lot of asshole vegans out there, and I think that I feel like you recognize that everybody's coming from a different place on the journey, and people don't need to be chastised or put down because they're not perfect, right? Like, we're all starting at a certain point. You're willing to take people on that want to learn and are starting maybe not from, that perfect place. And I think that that's huge for the vegan movement in general, as well as, vegan fitness.
Absolutely.
Because there's a lot of people that I think get turned off and discouraged and wouldn't reach out because they're going to feel shame or judged or whatever. And I noticed right away from you that you don't do that. You work with people where they're at, which I think is really important. Yeah. And you walk the walk for sure. It's not just about, it's a business and it's about making money, obviously, but you are doing it with so much integrity and you genuinely believe in what you're doing and you're doing it for a greater purpose. And I can tell that from your posts and from talking to you, there is definitely a true purpose and a drive behind what you're doing. And it's real and it's awesome.